Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you my personal experience in learning foreign languages. So as long as I remember, I've always been interested in learning foreign languages. My ever first contact with a foreign language was when I was in primary school, where I studied French. However, I did not really like it that much. For me, French was just a subject that I needed to do well in it like any other subject. Then, when I became in middle school, I began learning English and immediately fell in love with it. I was very passionate about it, and the more I learned it, the more I loved it. So, by the end of middle school, you can say that I was already fluent in English. Anyway, at secondary school, and after spending only 1 year, I realized that what I wanted to do was to pursue the path of learning foreign languages. So in my second year, I started learning an extra foreign language, which was Spanish. Now, studying 3 foreign languages at school was so much fun that I decided that I wanted to study another foreign language at home. And that's what I did. At that time, I was very interested in Japanese language, its culture, its people, and everything. So I decided to study it. So at first, I was very enthusiastic about this language, so I made all my efforts in order to study it through the internet, of course. I quickly managed to learn its writing system, but over time, I lost all the interest and eventually I ended up quitting. It was not because I found the language difficult, but rather because I lost all the motivation to learn it. Then I decided to learn German. So I bought this mini book which contained the basics of learning German. At the beginning, I found it a little bit difficult. However, I managed to form simple sentences. And within the time, I made a little bit of progress. However, over time, I lost motivation and became very bored. And then at the end, I had to quit. The next thing, I found myself learning Italian. The reason why I chose this language was because I heard it was a very easy language to learn. And since I was studying Spanish at that time, so Spanish and Italian are pretty much similar to each other. So I thought that I had a bonus. In addition, I really liked opera, so I really wanted to understand what the words were talking about. Oh mio bambino caro. Just kidding. As I expected, I found the Italian language very easy. However, with time, I felt bored and unmotivated, so I had to quit. So at that time, I was going to university. I had a break from learning foreign languages because I wanted to focus on my career, which was English. But after 2 or 3 years, I went back to my old habits, and this time I chose the Russian language. At that time, I was very addicted to this program called The Voice, and I used to watch its worldwide versions. And one of the versions that I used to watch was the Russian one. Hearing the language made me very excited and curious to learn it. I started to collect all the materials from books to CDs in order to learn the language. After making a noticeable progress, I felt bored, unmotivated, same old story, and eventually I stopped it. So the years passed. I graduated from university and started working as a teacher of English. I was very focused on my job. I barely had any time to practice any of those foreign languages till the year of 2021, when I decided to learn the Chinese language. To be honest, I've always considered learning Chinese language, but I was a little bit hesitant because I heard that it was a very difficult language. However, after having Chinese friends and seeing how beautiful the Chinese language was, I finally had the courage to start learning it. So my next step was to collect all the materials. Unfortunately, all I found at that time were online apps that I used during my learning process. So I started learning words and then simple phrases. And then eventually I was able to form complex sentences. However, my pronunciation was still very bad, so I was not satisfied about it. So after a few months of self-learning, I came across this program of online Chinese lessons. I immediately registered and I started learning Chinese language by Chinese teachers. It was a very incredible experience because what I learned during those 3 months was a lot compared to what I've been learning by myself. So everything was fine. I was still motivated and focused in my learning. I even had plans to move and settle there in China. However, my plans didn't work out, so I felt a little bit disappointed and discouraged to continue learning the language. I no longer had access to those online lessons, and my plans of going there to China totally failed. So little by little, I was losing the motivation until I eventually stopped completely. Now I still remember some of the words that I have learned before, but my pronunciation got very bad because of lack of practice. I generally feel so bad that I had to quit something that I really loved and was very passionate about. That's why I decided it's time to learn a new language and continue learning it till the end. I think I'm gonna choose one of the languages that I've already studied, but I'm not sure which one. However, I'm gonna let you know about this in my upcoming videos. So there you go, this was the story of me learning foreign languages. So if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and activate the bell in order not to miss any of my upcoming videos. See you in the next video.